Do you ever feel like your mind never stops talking? Even when you're alone, it keeps spinning, planning, worrying, comparing, remembering. You try to rest, but your thoughts won't let you. The truth is, most people don't suffer from life itself. They suffer from the noise inside their own minds. Hello everyone, welcome to Compass of Wordy Tales. Today's story is about how a restless mind can block the beauty of life, and how one quiet lesson can change everything. In a small coastal town lived a young artist named Elias. He had talent. His paintings were bright, detailed, and full of imagination. But lately he felt empty. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't create anything that felt meaningful. His studio was filled with unfinished canvases. Each one started with passion and ended with frustration. At night, Elias lay awake thinking about why he'd lost his spark. Maybe I'm not good enough, he told himself. Maybe my best days are over. He searched online for inspiration, read dozens of self-help articles, watched motivational videos, but his mind only grew louder. The more advice he consumed, the more confused he became. It felt like standing in the middle of a crowded marketplace where everyone was shouting different directions. One evening, Elias's old neighbor, Mr. Rowan, came to visit. Mr. Rowan was a retired sailor known for his calm nature. He always spoke slowly, as if every word was placed like a stone on still water. When he saw Elias's cluttered studio, he smiled gently. "You paint beautifully," he said, "but your mind looks noisier than your walls." Elias laughed nervously. "You're right, Mr. Rowan. I can't focus. My mind keeps jumping from one thought to another." The old man nodded. "Then you must first empty it." "Empty it?" Elias frowned. "How can I do that? My head's full of ideas. If I stop thinking, won't I lose them?" Mr. Rowan walked over to the sink in the corner and filled a small glass of water. He then poured a spoonful of salt into it and stirred until the water turned cloudy. "This," he said, "is your mind." He handed the glass to Elias. "Now look, you can't see through it, can you? That's what happens when you fill your thoughts with worry, fear, and opinions. The beauty of life is still there, but you can't see it clearly." He placed the glass down and waited for the salt to settle. A few minutes later, the water began to clear again. "Do you see?" said the old man. "You don't have to pour everything out. You just have to let it settle. That's how you empty your mind." Elias stared at the glass in silence. For the first time in weeks, he didn't argue, didn't explain, didn't analyze. He just breathed. That night, instead of forcing himself to paint, he went for a walk along the quiet beach. He listened to the waves rise and fall. He noticed how the moonlight touched the water like silver paint. The air smelled of salt and peace. He felt something strange, silence. Not the uncomfortable kind, but the peaceful kind that makes you feel alive. The next morning, Elias woke early. Without any plan, he picked up a brush and began painting. He didn't overthink colors or composition. He simply painted the way the wind felt, the way the ocean looked at dawn. Hours passed like minutes. When he finally stopped, he saw something on the canvas he hadn't seen in a long time: life. It wasn't perfect, but it was true. Days turned into weeks, and Elias continued this quiet practice. Each day before painting, he spent 10 minutes just sitting still, letting his thoughts settle like the salt in the glass. Slowly, his art began to speak with deeper meaning. People who saw his new work said it felt alive, peaceful, and full of emotion. One afternoon, he took one of his new paintings to Mr. Rowan. It showed the same glass of water, calm, clear, and glowing with soft light. The old sailor smiled. "Ah," he said, "you finally learned the difference between thinking and seeing." Elias laughed quietly. "I guess I did. I was so busy trying to fill my life with meaning that I forgot meaning flows in when the mind is still." Mr. Rowan looked out the window toward the horizon. "The sea always reflects the sky," he said, "but only when it's calm." From that day on, Elias lived differently. He didn't chase ideas. He didn't compete with other artists. He stopped checking how many likes his work got online. He simply created from a place of peace. He realized that when your mind is crowded, life becomes blurry. But when you learn to be still, everything finds its rightful place. If you ever feel restless, remember this story. You don't need to force meaning into your life, just clear the noise that hides it. Meaning doesn't come from doing more or thinking harder. It comes from being present enough to see what's already there. Empty your mind, not of dreams, but of clutter. And watch how life quietly fills itself with meaning. If this story touched your heart, give it a like and share it with someone who needs a little calm today. I'll be back soon with another peaceful story. Till then, stay mindful, stay grateful, and keep your heart light.